Go.
I'm invading your space.
Yeah, you are.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Stacy, I'm gonna cry. So I can see you guys.
Aww. Well, we're happy to see you too. We picked Stacy up like a hobo on the side of the road.
Aww.
Yeah, he was thumbing it. We said, "Oh, that guy looks like he needs a ride."
Where's my friend? Did you hear that?
Who?
Wanda. Get the fuck out of my kitchen. Swear to fucking Christ.
Oh shit. Getting real.
You're getting naked.
Oh my.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
Tornado.
Why not? That's what my sign says.
That's so funny. Hello. Oh, I have like layers on. Who would have thought we'd be freezing in June? Flip your sign over. Everybody's doing it. Nobody cares. We're blown away. Right.
New Mexico representing.
Do you want a cookie?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, Zoe, and
Hey,
Alice,
guys.
and BB, and Big Jeff. How are you doing? Excuse me for a minute. I got a little tears.
Hey, Linda, how are you?
But oh, I'm good. I was enjoying the memories from last year. It was really a lot of fun. Denise really made it awesome for everybody. I mean, she was just one hell of a woman. So rest in peace, my friend. Anyway, how's everybody doing today?
Doing great.
Not all
Doing
at
great.
once.
It's a beautiful day in New England.
Sunny for a change in Scotland.
And well, BB, how's it in Wisconsin?
Rainy and gloomy.
I can't hear you, honey. Oh, there you
You
are.
can't hear me?
Gloomy, huh?
Can you hear
Yeah,
me
she
now?
just-
I can hear you,
No.
BB. I can hear you, BB.
I can hear you now, honey. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
It just, I think you weren't talking. That might have been the reason. So anyway, hey, I don't know if it'll show up because it's black. Oh, but maybe you can see it. This is the sign that you seen in there last year. Wait, last year? Get on the train.
Oh
to
yeah.
work with KZ. I got them, but I didn't get my other signs, the ones with the eyeballs and stuff. They were so much fun. Everybody was taking a turn with them, taking pictures. The world in the eyes. But anyway, so I'm gonna just ask the basic questions. When y'all seen this, and what made you be a supporter? That is the biggest thing about today, is that we are supporting something a lot of people might find very controversial. They might wonder, might think we're crazy. I mean, I know my family does. So whoever wants to start first, go right ahead. And then just next one, keep on going. Zoe, you're next to me. You go ahead.
Oh, so what was the question? Why am I a supporter?
Why are you a supporter?
Well, I think the question is, why are you a school teacher?
Yeah.
I want to teach children to support the underdog. So why am I a supporter? Well, what they did to Brendan and Brendan and Stephen is just every time we start talking about the case, I'm just speechless. You just can't believe something like that can happen. It's just unbelievable. And I know I'm just a little tiny piece in this big puzzle, or the whole story. But if I can do something, just a little thing, I want to do it. I want to try to help, or just inform and educate people how quickly it could happen that you are in Stephen's or Brendan's spot. So yeah, that's why I'm a supporter, I think. And I hate injustice and people being treated like that.
Yep. And you, Alice?
I actually came across it by accident. I first watched When They See Us, and that had quite a good ending. They were all released, everything like that. And then I seen the picture of Stephen on it, so I went, my curiosity got the better, started watching it, and for the first few episodes I was like, no way. And since then I've done research and followed videos and things like that, and I have fell right down the rabbit hole.
Whoop, lost Jeff. He'll be back. Phoebe, you could go next since we lost Jeff. He'll, I'm sure, come back. That happens.
Well, I wasn't going to watch it because of the name, Making a Murderer. I thought, oh, like what, they're mean to him and turn him into a murderer or something. I wasn't going to watch it. Everybody was talking about it that first weekend. Yeah. And I was like, oh, not for me, And then I heard Harvey Levin on TMZ talking about it one night. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That does sound interesting. I live here in Wisconsin. Maybe I should know that. So as soon as TMZ was over, I turned it on. I watched the first episode, and I knew then that he was framed. And I waited until in the morning, and I woke my husband up really early that morning. And I'm like, quick, wake up, because I'm going to binge watch this whole thing, and you're going to miss it. So I'll rewatch the first episode with you, and we could go from there. And we did. We binge watched it in like 3 days. And the sad music would wake my older son up, and he'd come out with us and watch it, and been hooked ever since.
Yeah, they've been a mamaholic, like we like
back
to call
in them
it.
days when we started looking into it on Facebook. There was no hardly any information out there. There was, hardly anything.
Neverly, darling, welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
You're one of the frontiers, the pioneers of this case. You and a few others.
Yeah, in it early on.
Where
like it had been on for 1 week already. It was still over Christmas break.
Yeah,
it was still on
like
Christmas break when I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, JJX, and I want to say hi to everybody in chat. There's too many to say hello to every single one of you, but I see you and thank you very much for joining the rally. I'm so glad you're here. It really means a lot to Brendan and Steve and me and all the rest of us, I'm sure. And Jeff, you're next. What made you become a supporter? And dig as far as you do, because you do a lot of research. So let's,
Yeah, thank you. I think nobody gets acquainted to the case without probably, as everyone said, watching the man. And boy, do we as a nation owe Laura Riccardi and Moira Demos a debt of gratitude for highlighting this. Because if not for them, Stephen and Brendan would be rotting in prison without a chance of anybody knowing about this atrocity that's happened, and without a chance of acquittal at all. I mean, it was Kathleen Zellner watching Ma'am that really convinced her that she ought to take up Stephen's case. I think Sandra Greenman had been in contact with her. Yeah. Sandra had been in contact with
for 4
Zellner
years
before. Yeah, and she said no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take it. And then, after she watched Ma'am, I think that was what put her over the edge. But for me, it's not all that different than what's going on in the world right now. If you see injustice, when we give our government in general, which extends to law enforcement, a tremendous amount of power. The power to take somebody's freedom away, and that power is not something that can be taken lightly, and it needs checks and balances. It's just like what's going on today. And when it gets out of control, when the corruption gets out of control, you have no choice but to stand up, because all it takes for bad things to happen is for good people to look the other way. And I just can't, in good conscience, after seeing this, look the other way.
I can't either. Yep. Well, we're glad you didn't either, because you've done a lot for the community. So we thank you very much. And I believe in giving credit where credit's due. And all of you guys who do something, any little thing. I mean, you put out a hashtag somewhere, it's something. It is something. It takes one, and then they all follow, and then we become a team. And I think that's great. How about you, Neverly? Miss Beautiful over there
everyone.
with your...
First of all, hi. I'm sorry, what was the question? Question, I walked in.
Why are you a supporter?
Oh, well, at first I have to say that when the man first came out, I just read about it. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is kind of interesting. It's an involved process and whatnot. And I was going through a personal situation, divorce. And I was just really in a daze. I don't know if who's been divorced, you know how that goes. It's not pleasant at all. And then I watched the first episode. I was like, what? Then the second, the third. By the time it was done, I was in disbelief. There was no happy ending, right? And I had my son was 14, 15 at the time. He had something going on with school. There was a rumor going on, and he was snatched by the police, actually, and they didn't tell me about it. So they took him to school, and he was there for an hour with 6 adults, including the sheriff, the principal, the correctional officer, the narc officer. Everybody was there but his parents. So once I found out that he was there, I left work and I stormed over there, and I said, I'm like, what's going on? Why didn't you tell me? I was looking frantically for my son, calling everybody, and he was here with you. Why didn't you tell me? And you know what they told me? They told me, well, we asked him, would you come with us in the car and go to school? And he said yes. So he volunteered. Oh my. The other side of Neverly come out. I ripped them a new one. Yeah, seriously, I'm like, how could you do this? In their eyes, they didn't do anything illegally, never mind anything else. And that's how they look at it, as long as they didn't do anything illegally. Luckily, everything was cleared out. It was just a nasty rumor. You know how high school kids are vindictive and whatnot. So that was that. So that was a reason why I actually looked especially into Brendan. And then it became a bigger thing than myself and my life and my situation and my issues. And we all have a bag of issues, right? It's just different than the other, but it's pretty much the same. So ever since then, I was just like hooked, and I started reading, and somehow I stumbled upon Discord, where I find my home. So I wanted to thank everybody for welcoming me. It's such a great community and support, not just for the case, but also for personal support. It's wonderful. So I do whatever I can. My time is limited. I do work full time, and how that goes, blah blah. And but whatever I can. And I just wanted to thank you, Linda, for your enthusiasm, for your just endless love and support for Brendan and Stephen in return.
Thank you. Thank you. I won't ever give up. I mean, I might die before they get free, but I'm still going to be a voice any way I can.
Yeah,
Lord knows I got a big mouth, so we won't have no problem saying that. I mean, I just feel so overwhelmed when I see and meet new people that are coming in, and they got fresh new ideas. They really put some clear eyes on some things that a lot of us have really looked at for so long that we don't see it, So I appreciate that. I appreciate the diggers. I mean, the people that go down them rabbit holes. Jeff, Neverly, BB, Zoe, Alice, all of you guys that do. I mean, I gave up my researching on it. I decided to switch to the supporters. I mean, because I really think we, as I was in chats and things, I kind of felt like, well, I'm not really a big voice. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of there. And I mean, maybe some other people feel that way, or maybe I just have this ego or something. I don't know. But so I thought, why not have a channel where we can talk to them people, so we can see you and everybody. I mean, anybody in chat, welcome to grab that link and come on. You know what I'm saying? I am just all for the people part of it. So that's my part. And you guys do the hard work. And I mean, I appreciate everything. People who are FOIAing the documents and pictures and all this stuff, and BB, the pioneers, J-Jax, Jinx, all them guys that started it out and that were crowdsourcing just for 1 or 2 documents. They couldn't even get what we can get now, and people that are coming into it now, there's so much information for them, so I just think it's great. And a rally, wonderful. And especially these day and age when we can't be close. They got this closed down thing and the COVID, and I mean, it's a real thing. I'm not saying it's not, don't get me wrong, but it makes us not be in a social situation where we can get together once a year is a hard thing, because it was a wonderful experience for me last year.
And it's a real shame. Yeah,
it is. And that shows the world that you're supporting, so right now we're having a worldwide,
but that's the beautiful
rally.
thing, that it didn't stop us. You know what I mean?
Right.
When there's a will, there's a way type of thing. And thank God for the internet.
My next
and
thing.
Here we are.
Yep. Nothing's going to stop us is what I'm going to say. Not this COVID, not being together. We can figure out a way to support. And I think it's great. Just keep them in your hearts, keep them on your mind, get them on your tongue, and put a sign out, put something on your car. Whatever you can do, it's all appreciated. I don't know, Jeff, I'm going to knock you out and let you come back because you got no screen. So there you go. But you can come back. Please do come back. But you're gonna have to go back out and come back in because you're
for being the cell phone guy. He has really horrible.
He is so good about the cell phone stuff, and then he has the worst stuff. So you're right. So I mean, I thank all of you guys. I really do. I mean, every single one of the people that are involved in this case in any which way are very important to me, and I'm sure they're very important to Steve and to Brendan. And that's all we can do is do what we can, I mean, if we could, all of us would have them out. I mean, if we could have that magic key and just let them all out, we would. I know we would, because
I mean, all the researchers have been absolutely brilliant on what they've done and what they've been able to find and everything like that. I mean, some of the stuff I wouldn't even know where to go look for it. You know what I mean? So what they can actually go and research and find and everything like that is absolutely fabulous. You know what I mean? And I started off watching like I watched the documentary, and then I watched a few videos of a few people and everything like that. And then everybody started doing videos and everything, and then it started becoming too many to watch all the time. So when
Right.
certain people started doing certain segments, like Dr. Saltman's ones are absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful.
Absolutely fantastic. So I started following
He's kind
them,
of
and they were
smart, huh?
absolutely
Oh, there he is.
brilliant.
Jeff, you're having a little bit of problem here and there once in a while, but when I knock you out, I put
What
you
is
back
it?
in.
Is it noise? Is it noise, or is it
No, it's
video?
your camera just kind of goes like lines. Just
Oh, okay.
you, but yeah, we can hear you fine, so that's good. I'm sorry, Alice.
Yeah,
go
you
ahead.
look kind of like a candy cane.
Yeah, you did. A green one.
The
Yeah.
wrapping
A fat
paper
one.
or broken TV. Yeah.
And you know, it just brings me to the next question. Jeff, I know you specialize in phones, in the phone calls, in towers and things like that. So that's where you've been. Do you want to, is it because of your career that you did that, or is it because you just found that there wasn't enough research on that, and it might be a very big piece to this puzzle?
Well, you're right. It is because of my career. I am in the cellular industry in real life. I'd rather not identify the company I work for. But I've been studying different aspects of cellular for the under contract for the United States government since about 2009. When I saw, I was very interested in MAM, and whenever I saw Kathleen Zellner on MAM 2, one of her very first things was the cell tower things. If you'll excuse me 1 second, Linda, I have to take care of the dog. I have to take care of the dog.
Okay, and Neverly needs to mute herself to hear her making tea.
You can hear her stirring her coffee.
What are you doing? Stirring your coffee?
Stirring the coffee.
No, let's just
Clink,
get
clink,
up and
clink.
go and do everything. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. Oh, nothing? I put it in the PMs. You got it.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
The
Go ahead.
person showed up. But yeah.
Nice, real life happens.
Kathleen Zellner and MAM too. One of the first things she comes up with is the cell tower pings, and she says she can't believe anybody didn't look at it, and she's right. She's right. When you actually dig into the distances between those towers, how densely they're spaced, it is very unlikely that she was on the Avery salvage yard and managed to ping against that White Tower. I started looking at it, and of course, the very first question I asked, having worked with federal law enforcement related to cellular, it was, okay, where are her texts? And if you don't have her texts, what about the metadata associated with her text? Because if her phone went off, there's this giant cache of text somewhere that were unable to be delivered, and you might be able to learn something just about the metadata from those texts. Of course, that's not available either. This was completely ineffective assistance of counsel that they didn't do that. I'm just shocked that that's not one of Kathleen Zellner's. Not at this point. Not at this point.
So that's a lost thing, just like the voicemail, lost, gone forever, never gonna know.
Just gone forever. Yeah, it's lost to history. Some of that information is extremely perishable in the network itself, and just flushed away because it's just not going to be catched. And of course, her phone company Singular was actually bought out by AT&T. Infrastructure was moved around. It was on 2G, and now we're up to 4G and moving on to 5G. So that information is sadly long gone.
I'm sure Kretz has it on his computer.
Oh, he probably does. You're probably right.
Right.
You're probably
I would
right.
actually be shocked. I'm shocked that the state didn't ask for the texts. I strongly expect that's exculpatory. It would be interesting to subpoena AT&T or ask a question of AT&T to so Kathleen Zellner would subpoena them for all of the search warrants that they got related to that case, to see if the state did indeed really ask for them. I mean, we'll never get it out of out of Uyghur, but we might get it out of AT&T. If that question was
probably
really
tucked
asked.
away in someone's underwear drawer.
Yeah, I think that they did ask it, that got it
personal.
and then hid it. Yeah.
I can't imagine what kind of goop is on there if it's in Kratz's underwear drawer.
Yeah, well, he had film he wasn't supposed to have either, too. So we know how that goes with him, right?
That's right. That's right.
He knows the case better than anybody, and it's probably because he holds a lot of the secrets, if you ask me.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so yeah, he's a crazy dude. He's really crazy.
So if I could call out somebody else who's really in my mind pulled a lot of people in the case, it's Stacy Seabrook. You know, he'll be on. A lot of us on this call are, let's say, of an age. You know, whether it's the Bronze Age or the Stone Age, we don't have to say.
We got some young ones next to me up there.
Yeah. They're
well, Neverly's probably young too.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But
I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you.
We grew up and really music in a lot of ways to find our generation as you know, I was a kid in the late 60s and 70s and here in the anti-war movement. A lot of people turned there, you know, a lot of people were led and made aware of things by music, and boy, does Stacy do a great job, and that to me the song "We All Live on Avery Road" really captures the feeling of why I'm a supporter. And it's not surprising that the people of our age are sort of reached by music, because it was music that sort of helped push us in the sort of the activist direction back when we were kids. So
it's true. Yeah, I mean, I relate so many of my memories to songs. If I hear a song, I'm like, oh gosh, I was doing this then, you know, and you know, it just also shows how much Stacy really knows about the case. Some of them lines he puts in there are like, you know, when
a master lyricist,
like,
isn't he?
Really, is that in there? Oh okay. And then you look and doggone it if it ain't, you know, he's really good. I mean, I've never in my life seen anybody that can write as many songs about one subject just like that. You know, I mean, we had a conversation, me and him and Allie and some other people in Discord one night, and I told him, you know, it matters. It all matters. Guess what he wrote? It matters, you know. So I mean, and he had a conversation with Allie Apperson and then Justice, or what's it called? It's like one of his really, really good songs, Justice something. I don't know the name of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But him and Allie were talking, and they got that song. I mean, he just has conversations with people and talks about something, and then he makes a song out of it, which is just marvelous. I don't know how you can do that. You know,
and he managed to make it rhyme.
Illusion of Justice.
Oh, the Illusion of Justice, yes.
Yeah, and that's a great song. I mean, his song for Brendan, and I mean, they're just, every one of them touched me, and every one of them talk about the case and the things that are in the case.
Right.
So
it turns out that such tragedy and injustice has brought out the best in people. I know that I'm a better person. I know.
Oh, me too. I feel like a much
more
better
confident person. I'm a better parent. You know what I mean? And I'm not stressed out as much as I used to be about work. Because I have a bigger goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you look at the world differently. You look at people differently, and you cannot be untouched once you hear it. Now, there's people that don't have time for that and stuff. But I'm like, just watch one or two, and you will see what's happening.
You'll be a mamaholic.
What I tell you. Exactly.
You'll be a mamaholic. That's what we call it.
But look, my biggest pleasure to see in all of this is the people that have pulled from all around the world, but different age groups, different cultures, not to mention time zones, but you know, just different understandings.
Time zones.
And just everything is different, you know, backgrounds, whether they're religious or ethnic, whatever. And we all are coming for the same reason. To me, that speaks volumes.
It does.
Yeah, and I just love it.
I do too. I have found so many wonderful people, and like Rally last year, if y'all would have met me, I was nothing but a bucket of tears. All I did was cry every time I met somebody. That's all I did, because I was so overwhelmed by meeting the people that I talked to for so long. And it was just so surreal to me. I mean, I will never forget that as long as I live. Just like I won't forget this. I won't forget. I mean, the rest of my life has been changed from this documentary. It has made me be a fighter for wrongful convictions in general. When Nothing But a Stump comes on, we'll be talking about something we're going to be doing that has wrongful convictions. So it strives you to want to see innocent people get their rights back to them, have their freedoms back to them, and wonder what is wrong with our justice system that does this. I mean, it isn't going down in the percentages, it's going up. So I think a lot of it has to do with paid prisons. It has to do with plea bargaining, which is really crazy because you can get up to 8 times your sentence. If you go to trial, you get punished for a trial, and that's your right. I mean, there's a lot that's gone wrong, and our rights have been taken away through ADT, whatever. I can't say the initials all the time. You all know what I'm talking about. Clinton's signature.
Yeah, EDPA. EDPA.
That took away a lot of our rights, and people just don't know that. They sneak it in there. And there's so many things that have been taken from us as free individuals, and it's unjust, and we need change. And all these rioting and all this other stuff, I don't agree with the looting or none of that. That should not happen. Just like you should not call up Colburn and tell him you wish he was dead or his family's dead. That's wrong. That's taking it over the line. There's other ways of doing it. Peaceful marches, the rallies like what we do that are peaceful. I mean,
you can say it peacefully. Call him up and say peaceful. I'm kidding. No,
I wouldn't call him at all, but still,
no,
you know what
joking,
I mean? I would want nothing to do with him.
People would be saying, I'm peaceful now, but I wish
like you did
you.
Brendan. I want to see you walk the line of shame like you did to Brendan. That's what I want to see, with Brendan holding you instead of you holding him. That's what I'd love to see. But I do believe they're going to get out. If I didn't believe they were going to get out, then I would be fighting a losing battle, and I don't feel like I'm doing that. I don't. And a lot of people say, don't you feel like you're fighting a losing battle? No, not at all. Not at all.
Linda, I also like
minimally
in those videos. I noticed that you were doing quite a bit of little dance steps there.
Yeah, I was dancing to Stacy. I put on the little.
You were dancing everywhere in there.
Yeah,
I've never seen you.
Either that or crying. I either have to be out of it or cry. There's no medium for me. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just going to say, Linda, that God forbid it happens that they don't get exonerated, but just minimally, I think the awareness is so important. I think getting out on a forum like YouTube, where things are persistent and things last forever, and you can talk to people, there's kind of a rule of thumb on YouTube that for as many subscribers as you have, you probably have like 2 to 3 times as many watchers who don't subscribe.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that and if you look at your videos, even videos from a week ago, from a year ago, people watch them. I think of YouTube as a very powerful medium for people who want to get awareness to the case, and even if they don't get out, the awareness of the situation of the wrongful conviction, the irrationally exuberant prosecution who treat this more like a game to win than a search for justice. Is something that we have to. That's something that needs to change, and it's not going to change unless people are aware. And the only way they're going to make them aware is if we make them aware, because other people, there's no other forum for awareness.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a convert. I used to be a death penalty supporter.
Me too.
Because I know I used to be, but I've been converted.
Yeah, me too. I used to believe in it.
Yeah, I used to, but not after this case. And seeing the level of corruption and the steps that some corrupt cops will go to. Kucerik, you are an asshole. Uyghur, you're an asshole. To put innocent people away.
Yep. Fassbender, you are something else. I hope your son sees what you did. I mean, I can't understand how their family could live looking at that with an honest conscience. I don't know how anybody can watch that and literally can walk away from it. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do, but
Who knows?
As a mother, I couldn't.
Maybe their kids have nothing to do with them, or don't want them near their grandkids.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of different diversities going on, but
I couldn't stop screaming at the telly with the two of them, especially when they had Brendan in that interview. I was screaming at the telly. I'm like, "You're nothing but a done dirty bunch of ball bags."
Oh, I was
you know what
mad.
I mean? It's so infuriating, and then the more and more you look into it, it gets you more and more infuriated and angry, and you don't understand why they're there. I mean, as soon as I watched it, and I was like, there is no way that guy's just spent 18 years in the jail for something he did in a day. He's no gone one any more in a day with the police, never mind anything else, you know what I mean? So I couldn't understand, but according to them, that he was planning it. He thought about that was all he thought about when he was in jail. Well, no, I'm sorry. All he thought about when he was in jail was helping his mom and dad with their salvage shares and everything like that. You know what I mean? So they twisted everything, and it's just unbelievable.
Yep, it is. It is sad. It is really sad. But we're all here to show them that we care and that we're going to keep on digging and keep on fighting and do whatever we can as supporters. And I think a rally is a great thing, and I'm glad that we didn't let anything stop it. And thank you, Jane. Thank you so much, Jane, for putting this together, because she did. Jane's a trooper. She did it all. She got us all together and got our butts in gear for as far as I know, it's the first international rally that's ever been on YouTube. So we might all be firsts, which is great, because to me, you know, I love being first. I love having all the first. Okay. Alice, you're another first today. So there you go. You know, I mean, I strive to get people on that don't normally do that won't do that. I want them to jump out of their comfort box and be seen and let their voices be heard. That's really what it's all about for me, you know.
Well,
and
see, that's it. I've done it now, Linda. You know what I mean? I'm going to have wee Sharon Sunshine in that at me now to go on her channel.
Yeah, she said it's nice to see her wee friend up there, you know, wee Scottish friend.
So I put myself right in it.
Yes, you did. Now there she goes, Sharon. She's on for you next.
It is amazing the international draw that this has. I'm really amazed.
Can you go grab?
Oh, there goes Jeff. You know, keep talking, Jeff. We can't see you, but we can hear you, honey.
Yeah, but we can't see you.
I'll be kicking you all off in a minute anyway.
Yeah.
No, when other
you're not missing much. Trust me. No, I listened to some of Mark Hodnott last night. Talking to Dr. Silkman. What a knowledgeable and friendly guy. The community's much better for having him.
Oh my God, yes.
Did you hear Dr. Silkman's credentials? Oh my God!
Yeah, I know.
We did a video
10 pages
about.
I'm like, I knew he was smart.
Yeah,
we did a video about Item FL where I said, hey, you know, like, can you take a minute and walk me through your pedigree? It took more than a minute, but he's a great guy. So we got Australians. The Australians are amazing people. So easygoing, but so passionate about this case. Ireland, England, Slovenia, Zoe. Is it Slovenia?
Yeah.
Transylvania. Right?
No, just Slovenia.
And Transylvania. There's a place, right?
Well, I'm not Dracula's cousin or something.
Why does
that's not where you're from.
There really is a place that's that name. So why does everybody put that with the vampires? I guess maybe the movies. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm right. Yeah. But anyway.
But the international draw is amazing, and it just speaks. You know, there's only one way something is going to get that level of international attention, and that's if it's a real issue that people can get passionate about. And imagine people.
Many boundaries, right?
Yes.
We don't care about, you know, whether it's going to be cultural, language, ethnical, whatever, racial boundaries. There's no such thing.
That's right.
There isn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you go out of your house, if you're disabled, if you're whatever. It doesn't matter. You're young, old. This is for everybody
It really
to
doesn't
join
matter.
in. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's
But
it.
their
You think
innocent
that you
lives
don't,
do.
yeah, but you don't think that your voice or what you've got to say might matter, but it actually does, because
It
somebody
does.
will click on the video and they'll watch it and they'll be like, oh, all right, well, she's for Scotland and she's for here and she's for there and he's for there and they're for there. You know what I mean? Which gives it a whole variety, which was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, that's how I got Zoe on. She's seen Jerome, and she said he has a language barrier, and I do, and I can get on. And I was thankful very much for you coming on. And look at you now. You've been on a couple more times and more times. We'll get you on completely one of these times. You know, I mean, some people don't want to be seen. That's fine. I don't mind that. You know, if you don't want to be seen, but your voice needs to be heard. And people need to know who you are. And that's just who I am. So that's what I want to do. And anyway, well, I'm going to ask somebody or two people, if you're done, you want to say anything else, please do, because I have some other people waiting. It's going to be, you know, we got to kind of keep it rolling. So
Thank you very much for the invitation,
I
Linda.
can
Thank
go
you so much,
too,
Jeff.
Linda.
I appreciate it all. I love you all so much. You mean so much
Free
to me.
Stephen
Thank
Avery,
you so
free
much.
Brendan Darcy.
Yay!
Keep digging. Keep digging. The more you dig, the more crap you uncover. Let's get
Thank you,
let's
Linda,
get the
so
boys
much.
out.
Yeah.
Thank you, you guys.
And,
Thank
and
you so much.
are you covered to the end, or do you need somebody to come back on later?
Well, you guys can come back on later too. I don't care. Come on. It's a rally. We can be seen. I just got one more person that came on. So
Well, I did my quick change on my shirt.
oh, look
just
at she
in
put on her
case.
foul
Yes,
play
it's
shirt.
beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but
It's beautiful.
I want to
But you-
mention
Zoe designed that.
you
yes, I
turned
wanna
off
mention-
your camera to do that. You know that.
yeah, you should have kept the camera on.
Linda
we
said we
did not
couldn't be
wear it.
It's only
naked
rated
on
R.
camera. Linda
Nobody
said we
stands
couldn't
up.
be naked on camera, so
Well, don't stand
I
up
had to
because we
turn
all
it
don't
off.
wear pants. I want to mention Foul Play has put all the videos for the rally on their website, and I know my mods are putting that out, so everybody, you can always look back if you missed the Australian or the UK. You guys go check them out. You know, hi Tracy. So yeah, that's great, fantastic. Jane is coming on. Get your makeup out of the way.
You caught me.
There's the boss. Thank you.
Hey, Jane.
Zoe,
How are you
BB,
doing?
Ellie, Big Jeff. Good, I'm good.
Hey.
That's
And
good.
I just want to say, Linda's very modest because she says I, did this, but listen, it took a lot of help, and I didn't just.
Well,
do
good
this
job anyway.
I'm like, thank
Good
you very
job.
much, BB. Thank you. But yeah, it was a team effort, and there's no way I could have pulled this off without everybody's
Hi,
help.
Jane.
So
Okay,
yeah.
I got one video
Thank
I
you.
want to play
I'm
before.
gonna drop. Thank you very much for the invite, Linda.
Oh, thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
If you need anything, give me a call.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Okay, now
Bye,
I got
Jeff.
a video here that
Bye-bye, Zoe. Good to see you.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Jeff.
Bye,
Good
Jeff.
to see you
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye, Jeff.
Look, this time I
Okay.
can wave bye to people and you actually see me doing it. So I'm not an idiot
Yes.
today.
you do. Okay, now okay, wait. I'm trying to get a video here that somebody on our panel did, and it's really beautiful. And I want to get it. Let me see. Oh. So hang on with me. You can keep talking. Let me see.
Oh,
Okay.
Jane, I see who's your company.
Sorry.
I like your company, your girlfriends next to you.
Oh my, yes,
Carla and
sorry, yeah.
Barb. Yes.
I'm trying to. I'll sit. Mama.
Oh, it's Mama
Is that the
Avery
Mama
in the
Avery?
middle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
That's-
hopefully, I can sign. Let me see.
I love
Okay.
the green screens, you guys.
Yeah,
I love my green screen.
I know, I do.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen, and here we go. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can hear it. Did you hear it?
No.
Not
No.
really.
Have you pulled your headphones out?
I don't have them on.
Oh.
Well, I can tell you about it. These are the paper lanterns. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Let me mute.
There she is.
There she is. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you for playing that. And Zoe, thank you for
Oh, wait,
putting
I
it
gotta
together.
stop it
There were
again.
just a couple of
No
pictures.
problem.
Yes, I think it was beautiful. I really liked it a lot. I really did. I
Yeah,
thought it
that was
really...
in 2019. I went to a lantern festival close to Las Vegas in a dry lake bed. There's thousands of people, and we all came. You know, it's a festival, so you have food and camaraderie going on, and you got worship if you want fellowship, and music. And then at 8 o'clock, everybody puts their wishes on the lantern, and they release them simultaneously. That's a big word for me. Simultaneously.
You said it very
Whatever.
nicely.
Yeah, at once. Yeah, at once. And it was so spiritual. Everybody was crying, people. Everybody was moved by this unity and by this power and energy. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't plan it, but I just grabbed another one and I put free Stephen Avery, free Brendan Dassey. If that can help them, they need help. And if they felt that, spark little of energy at that moment, I would be happy. But it was a beautiful thing. And thank you, Zoe, for putting it together and Linda for playing it.
Yes. Oh, anytime. Like I said, I think everybody, I mean, when you do things like that, even outside of this group, I mean, that's so touching that you would think this is for them. I mean, not a lot of people would do that, Beverly. Not a lot of people would do it. So
they would do something else.
Like I say,
okay.
It takes a special person to be a supporter. It really does. So to me, all of you are so very special. You really are. So,
okay, well, I'm gonna get off. Maybe I'll come back on later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But BB, Zoe, Jane. Oh, Stump. Stump is there.
Stumpy's here.
Stumpy's there.
Okay.
Stumpy's here.
I wanted to say hi, but anyways, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, sweetie. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Neverly.
Yourself, baby.
My pleasure.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi. I don't know.
Where's your boxing gloves, man? You're not going to show us your beautiful face.
I thought we had to take the bag off today.
Yeah. You got to take the bag off when you're in the rally. Do you walk around the rally with your face covered?
Maybe.
Well, I might. Allie did it last year, so
Yes, you Steve. Yeah, the big head Steve. She did.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I love it. Except for your green screen takes it away.
Hang on. I'll turn it off a minute.
Yeah. See, it says free Stephen and Brendan, or free Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey.
Team Zelda.
That's awesome.
Team Zelda. Yep.
And that was Mitch. Mitch is in the chat, and Bob.
Oh, there's Glenn, smart duck. I didn't know who that was. I thought it was a smart ass. No. Glad you could make it. So, nothing. How are you? She's not hearing me. Nothing but a stump. Rhonda. Oh, she put nothing but a stump, Rhonda.
Sorry.
Oh, she's still changing it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I know you told everybody, but I want to know too. What made you do this? Just the injustice in general, like everybody, or something that stood out?
No, for me, it was just I had seen, like, just as regular news when I used to watch it. I had seen all of the news reports that I would get, just the snippets that you hear in national news. And I just thought, man, Stephen Avery, that's just crazy. Get out of prison after all that time, and there's no way he would. Why would somebody blah 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 blah, all those things? And then I thought, but you know what? He must be guilty, because I had just kind of started my criminal justice courses in college, and I believed that there was just no way there was any kind of corruption like that. And I was just like, yeah, he's guilty. And then we started with Brendan, and I remember seeing the news reports of him being, walking in handcuffs and shackles. And I thought, no way, there's no way that these guys are guilty. They're just, again, though, I was still naive to the fact that there could possibly be that kind of corruption. And I was like, well, sick and horrible and vile as it is, this must be true. Well, then, I don't know, sometime later, my son kept saying, Mom, you got to watch this Making a Murderer. I'm like, yeah, too much hype. And then, when something becomes so popular, I tend to just get away from it because I don't want to be trendy or whatever. And he's like, Mom, you got to watch it. So I watched it, and the first episode in, I was like, what the actual F? And I just had to research more. I just thought there's no way, I need to go back and figure this out. So I started on Reddit, and I think I came into Reddit at the TikTok sub where some things were kind of shaking up, and I still wasn't getting the information I wanted because that was all a bunch of bickering and arguing. So I went to YouTube and I found Fresh Start Monday. And I was like, wow, this guy's good. Well, I went through all of his videos and I was like, I need more. So then I found Erekose and Rubber Ducky and kind of settled on Erekose. He, as you guys all know, he was the beginning of getting this all going for all of us. And then I just kind of have gone from there. And then the ladies, Glowmam ladies at Rally.
Yeah, that's us. We started it all.
It was so, I got involved, and then my mom got real sick. I was in California caring for her. She got real sick, and I ended up having to, step away completely and finish taking care of her. But when I finally came back just this, a few months ago, and Linda is like, you got to come to Foul Play. And I just thought, yeah, I was kind of nervous, kind of scared. I had kind of, still watching Erekose, but kind of feeling a little indifferent about some of the others. And so, and I found Foul Play, or Linda introduced me to Foul Play, and here I am. Like now I never was good at researching. I had A's on every single research paper I did in college. But I've determined that that's just because I'm a good bullshitter, BSer, sorry. My things were all factual. I had all fact in my papers, but I've not been real good at researching. I've tried really hard with these cases, and there's just so many other people in the case that are so amazing at the research. So I've kind of turned myself, like you said earlier, Linda, I am like a 1000% supporter, and I'm kind of like a psychological brain picker of all these sick people that did this to our boys.
Ooh,
so I kind of do some
guess, guys. Ooh, look at this.
What's up?
Stacy. Oh, hello.
Stacy, hi.
Hi.
Just talking
So good
about
to see you.
How are
We
you?
were just talking about you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hey. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi, Stacey, again.
Hey.
Anyway, that's my story. I'll let Stacy talk now. Mine's just pretty basic though. Just I got it.
I think we Beetlejuiced him here.
Yeah, we're talking about you and how all your songs, tell the story of making a murderer, and that you really know this case. You're not just about the music. You really do know the case. You've read and researched, and that's how you were able to make some of the songs, I suppose. And your way is just making them into songs. That's your way of supporting, I guess.
Yeah, or it was processing, actually. Just,
Oh, processing it, yeah.
Yeah, the frustration and the sort of anger, I guess. But yeah, it's a long time ago now. I've been at it.
Oh, we've got the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Jane.
I was just saying we've got the same background.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
Denise,
You're right next door to me.
here.
We ain't gonna tell them I'm in London.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be coming.
Yeah, it's so sad.
I have to kick somebody off.
I'll go this round.
Okay. Thank you so much for being there.
Right.
All right. Bye, honey.
I'll come back later if you need somebody.
Yeah, come on. Everybody's welcome.
I can come back later to Linda. Okay.
If you want to, so
all
you
right.
can
Talk to you later.
I will come back
Love you, girl.
Love you too. Thank you.
Okay.
Love you, girl.
Okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now, nothing. You better get your butt back up here. Okay. We have Erekose, the dude.
Hi, Rosie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I just decided I'd pop in a
Richard.
little bit as I'm preparing. Hi, hey, how you doing there, Stacy? So I decided to pop in a little bit as I'm doing my preparations because Stacy came in. I figured fun story for everybody when we were in Australia, and I just thought I'd bring this up while we have Stacy here because we had Mr. Hodnot, taking us all around Australia and everything. So he took us over to a footy match, which, by the way, folks, I immensely enjoyed the Australian rules football while we were there, particularly the ladies. There's just something about watching the ladies, hit each other and talk, getting into it with each other, and on the pitch. I just dug it. Anyways, but so we went to an actual footy match. We had the banner that you guys have all seen. I used to have it hanging up back here, and so Mr. Capaldi was there. Stacy and I are there. So we got this banner and we're like, okay, we're going to throw this thing over a railing. We're going to get some pictures with it and all that stuff. So Stacy and I get it unfurled. We take it over to a railing. Paul goes and gets his phone and he gets ready to start taking the pictures. So he starts taking pictures, but then remember what it was like, Stacy? It was like he took one picture, but then it was like, he was only moving like 5 feet, but he looked like he was lost getting to that next point 5 feet away. And so Stacy and I are sitting there just like it's excruciating because people are starting to look at us like, oh, what are you doing? And then Paul ends up waking up a baby. Oh jeez, man. Do you remember?
Paul did what? He woke up a baby.
And we were like, take the picture.
Yes. So then he ends up waking the baby up, and the people who's like the baby woke up. The people are like turn around and looking at him, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry," And so just at that moment, as he's waking up this baby, 2 Australian police officers start coming from like out of the where the concession area is, and so they come from there out into the bleacher area where we are, and they're approaching Stacy and I. We've already got the banner rolled up, but they're approaching Stacy and I, and so Stacy actually did most of the talking with him, so I'll let him kind of talk about what went down. But basically, they were just kind of asking us what it was. They wanted to see it, and mainly wanted to make sure it wasn't racially charged or an advertisement that would have conflicted with their advertisers.
Yeah. But that made the memory, hey?
What all did they say? Like, what all were they saying? How did the conversation go?
That was it. They were just asked what we were doing, and I said we're raising awareness for a cause, and that was about it. But it was. I
remember we handed him cards.
The funny part about that was when Paul went down, he just couldn't. He was trying to frame the picture right because you could tell by the camera or the pics that he got, he was really far away. So I think he didn't realize how long he was fidgeting and moving about. That was so funny.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, but the best part was as these 2 officers came into view, Paul had just taken like the last picture and just woken up the baby, so he was feeling awkward as hell. So as these 2 Australian police officers walked into view, he bolted. He was down like on a little lower level where they didn't really know who he was or what he was doing. So he just kind of bolted towards the concession area, ended up getting a few beers. And by the time he got back with the beers, the 2 Australian officers had already left. But he bolted. Loved it. The brave heart of the Havering Scotsman.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it seems like more than a year ago. I mean, it was a year and a bit.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Seems like a couple of years now. I'd love to go back.
Yeah, I know, me too. There was so much fun we had there. Oh man, dude, and all the interesting stuff we got to see. I mean, just staying at the Jazz Hotel there in Melbourne. I mean, that hotel itself was an experience. I mean, just staying in those rooms and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, now the Melbourne Convention Center were a bit of a stick in the mud, right? And me and Stacey are trying to take a picture out in front of the "Making a Murderer" sign in front of their building, and they're giving us crap, and we're like, "Come on, guys, This is what we're here for.
Yeah, we were the banner was a magnet for security. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the things I love.
We didn't have any of those problems at the Duke of Enmore, though. Remember? I mean, at the Duke of Enmore. Well, I guess maybe they were a little slower to react to it, maybe. But
it was more of a street atmosphere there.
That's true.
You know, but one of the things I love about the rally and was meeting people. You know, it's so beautiful to talk to people. Like when Jane and I met, or Linda and I met last year this time, right? And it was you just feel like you know people. Yeah. You know, and that's the cause is the focus point, but the real sort of community building is nice. So it's great that you guys are doing these online rally this year. Thanks.
Yeah.
Linda,
can't hear Linda myself.
She's muted.
Yeah. I know. I do it all the time.
James actually got the banner up behind her there.
Low budget.
Hey,
let me try and create one.
Maybe I could carry on a conversation, but who knows? Look who else joined us. Hi, Marilyn.
I'm gonna see.
Hi,
Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn. Hey, hello.
Hi, Richard. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm going to ask Stacy the same question. Stacy, why did you become a supporter?
You know, I don't think it just happened. I don't think I just couldn't sit back and do it and nothing. And once I started researching, once those Skip Top, this guy that sort of organized the first sort of information drops, once those came, I just totally immersed myself, and then I couldn't. So I was really right there from the start of after making a murderer, you know. So there's a whole surge of supporters, and I was just one of those, and it took me away, you know. Here we are.
There we are.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? He wants to share the screen.
This is Stacy and I at the Melbourne Convention Center with the banner. So that's, you know, where that's the banner we're talking about. If those of you who haven't seen it,
went on a tour. You did the banner tour too. So yeah,
we've done it. Yeah, we've taken this banner all over. You know, it's been to Wisconsin, and so it's been in front of the Manitowoc County Courthouse. It's been in front of the Avery Salvage sign. It's been all over, you know, various places in Australia. It's been all over Southern California, the Hollywood sign, various places. So this banner has gotten around.
It needs to come to the UK.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's my. I'm planning to get to the UK next. Is my. Hopefully.
I'm gonna come and steal it.
There you go. Steal it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Do I have a song?
There's another one of it, right? We see it?
Yep, that is at the Queen Mary.
Yep.
That is Julie Pom Pom and Rhonda and I. Yep. I just gotten the Lion Rampant. It had just been sent to me by Sharon Sunshine, my trusty Ouija. So that's why we're showing that one off as well. That's the flag I'm holding, by the way. It's called the Lion Rampant.
Well, Marilyn Carter, so wonderful to see you.
Well, it's good to see you guys too.
I missed that big hug I got from you last year. It was wonderful. I knew it would be.
Yes, it was. There's something going on with mine. I'm hearing Erekose talk.
Oh, do you have your YouTube on? Because if you have YouTube on the same time, you'll get that delay.
Oh, where do I cut that off?
You just find the YouTube window and then mute YouTube, and that'll go away.
I don't know if Stacy has his guitar or not, but I'm not asking Stacy to play because
I will.
Stacy has a mind, and his mind, it works very well. He doesn't just do songs. I want everybody to know that Stacy really Huh? You know, he does have his guitar. Well, I wasn't going to ask him, so, you know, because I believe in using them.
No, but I just use it as a prop because I just sort of, when I'm leaning, I just have it sort of as I lean against it. So it's always there. But
yeah,
sometimes I mute myself, you know, and if you see me rock, talking, I'm usually muted and playing while I'm listening to you guys.
I don't know.
You're okay. Are you okay, honey? You still
I
here?
can't see. I don't know where the YouTube screen is.
Oh, well, it's up in one of your tabs
It'll
somewhere.
be one of your
When he
tabs.
pops across the top, Marilyn.
Yep, across the top, you see your tabs.
One of
One
them
will
will be
say
YouTube.
YouTube.
Stay in YouTube. Stay in StreamYard, but mute YouTube.
Yep, StreamYard,
Oh.
stay YouTube. Bye. We're all, hey, don't worry about it. This is low budget Linda Productions. We are not worried about it here. Not at all. I mean, we all learn.
I mean, you sound fine. I can't
Yeah,
hear
you
it,
sound
though.
fine. She just hears back.
Yeah, but she's hearing a delay.
I'm hearing everybody.
Yeah. So she's hearing us in real time, and then her YouTube window is giving it to her again on a delay.
Maybe I should go off.
Okay, honey. We'll see you later. Thank you for being a supporter. We love you.
I mean, I'll come off and try it again.
Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
go and find. Yeah, go figure out your YouTube window and then come back. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Okay, honey.
All right. Check you later.
Okay. Oh, what a darling she is.
Yeah, I love
really
Marilyn. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yep. But
She's
I wasn't
great.
going to ask Stacy to play songs because we hear his songs. But I'm more interested in everybody knowing that Stacy really does know this case, just like any of the other researchers.
Oh, look at
he's
Sharon.
dug into it, and you don't get enough credit for that, Stacy. So I'm here to give you credit for that because I think it's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Linda.
No, and I don't think you could write the songs you do if you didn't know them.
No, and once you get into it, though, I couldn't, I don't know how anyone can just. We were saying last night with Mark, I don't know how people walk away from the case, like watch the documentary and then just, I don't know, I couldn't do that. So that's why I say part of the songs are processing because, even now I don't do as much with the case now because there's so many channels now. Everything's been really hashed out, a lot of it, and we're just waiting. But that last song I came out with was Dear Andy, and something like that one particular the book Shaking of the Bookcase, to me you can just focus on that one point and you go, why was that story told at trial? Like that story is so unbelievable to me. I don't know anyone. And even I think Gilchers would admit that it's a far-fetched story. And so then you can just focus on that one piece and go, why was that in trial then? You just focus on the one piece, and then the whole house of cards starts to fall. Because if they're willing to lie or fabricate or embellish a story like that and use it to sit on the stand and try to flog that story as realistic, it's bizarre.
So, I don't know how they look themselves in the face every day, or anybody else for that matter. I mean, they're a walking fraud. I mean, seriously. I mean, I wouldn't believe anything that come out of their mouth. How can you?
Right.
Like
And so
they say one thing wrong, and then you have to question everything else. Here, there's everything
with everything else. Especially with everything else that's questionable. And so those are the things. The songs are just secondary, really, to me. But although they've become a sort of, they become a bigger part of my life than I ever thought they would. But that's just what it is. That's the way I process.
I love every one of them.
Some people. Thank you. Yeah.
And I start my day with you.
Yeah.
I still do every day.
Yeah, oh, nice. Yeah. I don't listen to them that often now, and so when I do play them, it's every now and again. I'll link one. And it'll be in the playlist, and then I listen to a few in a row if it's and I have to pinch myself. I just go, wow, that's so weird. I wrote so many about that.
I'm glad you put up 36
bizarre.
million the other day in the tweet, because I haven't heard that song for so long, and I thought you lost it. Remember, you deleted it. I thought it was gone forever, and I love that song. So it was nice to see that.
Yeah, I think Allie Apperson. She sent it back to me. I did delete it by mistake, and she had downloaded it and sent it back. So I was able to recover.
Good.
Has anyone seen Allie lately? Has Allie been
I've talked to her. She might pop in. I gave her the link. She had a dentist appointment, but she
Oh,
was.
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. So yeah. Well,
Oh, everybody.
she's going
Yeah.
both had dentist appointments. I thought, whoa, they're going to the same dentist? No, they're too far apart.
Maybe it's an excuse. We're going to the dentist, you know.
No. So she might pop in. So that would be nice to see her.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she does.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all these supporters, you know, that we got to meet and got to know over the last few years. It's like I said last night, it's nice to be part of this crowd that actually I've never really stood up. I look at causes, and in my life I've gone to a few protests and stuff like that, but not many. You know, I'm not one to do that. And then for whatever reason, just because it was so blatant to me and I was so frustrated with actually for me, it's the when someone asks me to believe an unreal story, like, and they're just straight faced about it. There's something in me that gets triggered. I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" You know. And so that's really what happened. And it's nice to be part of all these supporters because we are diverse. And as Mark said, you know, we have such a wide range of backgrounds. Some of us are just, you know, in professional fields and other fields. Some people are home keepers, some people are parents. That's it. You know, it's just like, it shows you that the humanity of it all and what happened to Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey. And so it continues to happen. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in our worlds, and every now and again I'll snap back and go, for as long as I've been involved in this case, that is nothing compared to what Stephen Avery spent in jail for crimes he did not commit. So
I think that
I see him getting out, though. I do. I see him getting out, and I can see him and Kathleen walking out. In fact, sometimes I visualize, you know, that rally picture we took at the sign, all of us with that big banner of flags.
Oh, yeah.
I often just try and visualize Stephen Avery and Kathleen Zellner in the center, and all of us at some point, you know, at some point we'll have that picture, I think. So, and Brendan Dassey too. So
that'd be a great
that would
one.
be awesome. Yeah, right in front of that
I
sign.
can't wait for the rally to be the exoneration rally, you know? The freedom rally. That's what it'll be. The freedom rally. Yep, the freedom rally. I cannot wait for that day. And I do believe it'll come. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. And like most everybody else, I never stood up for a damn thing. I mean, never. I never. This is so out of my comfort zone and so out of the box of my norm that most people, my friends in real life, can't believe I do it. So, you know, they're like, you must really feel, you know, a strong conviction to it. And yes, I do. And I look at it like when the guilters come at you and they with their dumb questions, because they're all the same repetitive questions and arguments. But when they come at you, I think to myself, do you really honestly think that a woman of Kathleen Zellner's reputation and what she does is going to waste her money or her time on anything that is not true? You know, along with the 250 other people that wrote these things for Brendan, do you honestly think that them people with their professions and their reputations are going to dive into something that is stupid? Think about it.
They're not going to stake the reputation.
No, I mean, that's the thing.
And all of us, I wouldn't call any of us dumb. And we are all normal people living our lives from all across the world, and we believe in the same thing. So there's power in that. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of power in that.
And that's why we're here today.
Yep.
There is. There's a lot of power in that. The more people that get vocal about it. And this is something I realized early on. I mean, the more people that get vocal about this, the more that people bump into this topic on YouTube or on social media when they maybe weren't even looking for it. But the more they bump into it, the more, you know, kind of the whole thing bleeds out and creates more awareness where people are going to be like, oh, there's that thing, that Netflix thing again. You know, I remember that on Netflix. And it's going to get people who maybe have forgotten about it or stopped thinking about it again. And that's what we need, folks, because when you think about it right now, the big issue right now is, yes, we all want to see justice for Stephen and Brendan, but part of making that happen is creating an awareness for what's going on in the criminal justice system right now in America so that regular Americans can understand it, so that they can understand the issues with it. And when I say the issues with it, look at what we're dealing with on Stephen's appeal. Look at how they want to procedurally bar everything. Look at how they want to make it impossible for him to bring anything. That's what it's like for every wrongfully convicted person. Doesn't matter how innocent they are. It's like that. The courts just want to believe in this infantile, childish notion of finality. And in this chasing of this childish notion of finality, that is why it is so hard for the wrongfully convicted to get their case, to get their situation set right. The courts are just geared against it, and we got to change that.
There's so much in our system that just says corruption from get-go. Paid prisons, plea deals, corruption from the get-go.
You know,
and this is
what
one
we're
of the
seeing
things
here.
that,
Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things that, because you see that corruption really politically and all across the board right now, whether it's police or attorney generals or whatever you have, you know, if we're not here, even a few people, if nobody says anything, that behavior gets a green light, and at least us standing up, no matter how small, and we can grow, you know, in power.
We have.
It is at least a sign to those people that are in power that there are at least some checks still, because right now, to be honest, in the United States, it looks like checks and balances are falling to the wayside a bit, you know, and so we are, you know, it always comes back to grassroots. It really does. It's what we want, what we choose, and so you put your, you know, your actions behind what you feel. So
yeah. And what about you little Sharon?
Me.
Yeah, you.
What do
the
I
little
know?
Wallflower who wasn't going to come on nobody's show. Now is the
I know.
thing.
Look at my own show. I know. I know.
We've got our
other
own
people
show tomorrow morning, folks, where we're going to it's our own little funny show where we kind of review funny news.
Yeah, the new channel. Yeah.
So if you guys are interested,
I'll let
you're
Erekose
not totally wiped out from Raleigh, come over and check us out tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Sharon. I was trying to get you on my show, and you're like,
I know.
No.
Well,
no. I only send my voice clips to a few people.
We got her there.
Well, actually, originally it was I got Linda on my channel, so this is actually the first time I'm on Linda's.
Yes,
so
it is.
So
wait
there.
a long time.
I know. Well, you never invited me.
Oh, you don't need an invitation, not to my channel. You just say, Linda, I want to go on. I'm like, okay,
But Wallflower's like the furthest away from me.
Yeah.
It's by nature coming from Glasgow. You're not. Nobody's ever a wallflower in Glasgow. And you got you had Alice on earlier on.
Yeah.
Alice.
Yeah. I love her.
The other Ouija. She was. I was glad she came on. I know. Yeah, of course.
I love
I've been
being
trying to get her on.
I love having those people that just don't. No, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
Never gonna do that. Never. Well, look, I got Eric Banana Man down when he comes off his sabbatical again. He'll be because he.
Oh yeah. Good. I'm glad he's going to come on finally.
Yeah, I am. He did a great video.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it, but
it's been posted, but I'll send it you.
Yeah, because he said he's a man of his word, and I truly believe that. But his 30 days is up at the end of the month, so he's either off sabbatical by then, or as soon as he gets off of his sabbatical, he'll be on.
He has told me he's definitely coming. He has, because I was saying, you've got to come on my channel, you've got to come on. And he's like, I've promised Linda. And I was like, well, you'll have to go on Linda's first because you can't let Linda down.
Yeah. He's another great researcher that doesn't, you know, to me, I think everybody deserves credit, you know, call it 15 minutes of fame or whatever the hell you want to. But I just want to say thank you and let other people see them, because I think it's so important to know who's doing what and be seen. I mean, because even if you want to be anonymous as far as your face and your real life, that I respect that. But what you're doing really needs to be put out, because it's important to me. It's important. And it's important to the guys.
There's only 2 T-shirts I own more than 2 T-shirts in my house.
Oh, okay, I hope so.
There's only 2 T-shirts that I've got. One of them is for my Scottish independence, and the other one is for Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey.
There you go. I got my wrecking crew. Last year's.
So I've been as passionate about that since like whatever. Scottish independence, like since a way back, maybe 2010, probably even before that. So that I had that bug already of researching everything and getting into everything and being in all the groups. So when Making a Murderer came on, and it just seemed like the same sort of groups, the same sort of people, the same sort of the way that people were interacting with each other and splitting off and dividing off, and it's like, but the passion was the same,
Right.
So it just seemed like I don't know, it seems like a parallel that I've always seen, probably because of where I'm from, and I can see the parallel of those both, But people would maybe say, "Oh, I don't understand how you could say, there's a commonality there," but the way that the people behave, it's very much the same. The Gilters and the,
Yeah.
my good friend over here knows. Yep, and I mean, I was not for coming on for talking about Avery Dassey stuff on YouTube. That's 100%. You're right there, Linda. But the minute I was asked to come on and talk about Scottish independence stuff, by addition,
yeah, we have to have.
I was on like a shot. Yeah, I was on like a shot.
He's a little off the grab.
Yeah, William over here in the chat, moving her throne of butter knives so that
No, there was no hesitation the minute he said, "Oh, do you want to?" I was like, "Yep." Was pretty much no hesitation. Yeah. So
hi, Sammy.
So that was me.
You're muted. Oh.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi and there. How's it going?
From Powder Puff.
Hi.
From Foul
How
Play.
are y'all doing today? I'm sorry I was so late getting in. Everybody at work's been sick. I'm the only one that's still well, so I've been doing lots of working.
That's good. I love your shirt.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get one because I am a Powder Puff gal, so I gotta get one. I was hoping my shirt for Denise would be here, but it wasn't. But I did get my cup, so I'm really happy about that. I especially designed this.
Has it got the flowers on, Linda?
And then it says, "Peace out, Girl Scout." That's what Denise used to say.
See, here's the weird thing. I got my highlight, right? Now, here's the funny thing.
Thanks to Biggie.
I like
ordered 2 things, right? This thing was going to take 5 days longer than the tie because, well, it's a light and it has to be constructed. Right? It was going to take. I still don't have the tie. I've had this for like 3 or 4 days.
Hold up to your neck.
This company is in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So Dazzle is in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So I ordered this, and the next day I got this.
Wow!
But I still don't got my shirt.
I mean, this, like I said,
they just brought it to your house.
No, they did. They dropped it right off my house.
Ask for the postage back.
Yeah, they. You know what? We got a lot of money for that postage.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they said something about July, and I was like, "Oh, geez, that's terrible." And then the next day, I got my cup. So I don't know. I wasn't able to go out and get the mail that's already went. Probably is there, my shirt, and I wouldn't be able to wear it. But this is in tradition, so there's a wrong date on it.
Yeah, mine. I have mine on
there. Just hide your hair. Just put your hair down it, and you'll notice.
Yeah, put it on. Yeah. Not long enough yet, but it'll get there.
We'll just put your head to the sides.
Well, that's normal.
No.
Oh, anyway, Sammy, what got you into this?
Well, I started out with, I actually was doing research on all of the sex trading and stuff going on with children. I was really, really trying to help get down to the nitty-gritty of exposing it. I was abused as a child, and so I was very passionate about it. And I found myself in a place of, I was absolutely devastated. And I thought, well, I have got to find something else. This was just literally driving me insane. And I found one of my girlfriends said, oh, you know, this is coming on Netflix. Have you seen it? And she said, watch Ma'am. So I watched Ma'am and I was like, oh my gosh. Well, then the new one came out and Ma'am too. So I watched it and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I was kind of like Zoe found out he was still incarcerated and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I found a bunch of other groups, other people that were into this. And that's kind of how it started for me.
Yeah, you just can't walk away from it, right?
No.
And now you're like, I'm amaholic.
Yeah, I am.
I think we're all amaholics. You watch it, and if you can walk away from it, well, then I think you're just like, you got honestly, because I just don't see how any human with any kind of feelings can just, maybe you can walk away with it and not be as extreme as we are, but it's got to stick in your mind. It has to do something to you when you see Brendan being talked to the way he was, or you hear that Stephen spent 18 years of his life already, and then 2 years out, and he's going to murder somebody. I mean, doesn't that throw up a red flag to any of his other lawyers? I always wondered, man, you're fighting for him, you're suing the county, and this doesn't sound strange to you that he's just going to out of the blue go murder some girl when he's got all this money coming?
I was so mortified whenever I saw what happened with Brandon. I was like, wait a minute, because with Brendan, he, he was really, I think, thought he was helping.
Yeah.
I don't think that he had the mindset required. They knew that. Yeah. That upset me.
They knew what they were doing.
My heart aches so bad for the fact that he was in the position he was in. And it totally I mean, look at him now. Look, and it's something you just cannot walk away from without making as much noise as possible.
Right. And Brendan, you think that he would be this hard person after being there wrongfully convicted for so long. And he's the most gentle. I mean, from what I hear from everybody, he's the most gentle, caring, hopeful person there is. And I don't think I could be that way. I think I'd be a bitter bitch.
Yeah.
I really probably would be. It just, I'd be like screaming. I don't know what I would do. I mean, and everybody who thinks they know what they would do in the family's eyes, and they would do this and do this. Well, hindsight's 20/20, honey, and you don't know what was going on. So you better think about that stuff before you start saying something online, because that shit pisses me off. I'm sorry. It just does. It pisses me off. I mean, they don't know. And
just
when
like
you judge like that, judge like that, it's wrong. Unless you got facts, shut your mouth. I don't want to hear it. Sorry.
Tell him, Linda.
Well, I am going to go ahead and bid everybody adieu at this point. I am going to make
get ready.
Of Don't Get Strange from Stacey Seabrook, even though I know he's not a human jukebox. But I'm going to...
thank you.
Where do we put the money?
And I don't like Don't Get Strange. If he's going to play on my channel, it's gotta be It Matters.
I do love It Really Matters as well, so I'll settle for that. But anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and get ready for my segment, folks. So you're doing a great job, Linda. I love it.
Tomorrow.
Great content.
Thank you.
Love you, all you supporters. You're
well,
all
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Mr. Cozy. So remember that.
I appreciate that.
Mr. T Cozy.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for all your help. I'll see you later.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, Dave.
See you later.
See you soon.
See you.
There we go. Yeah, I'm not pressuring Stacy into anything. Stacy wants to play, he can play. I invited him here to talk and tell why he was
to be a supporter. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Because he doesn't get the opportunity to do that. Everybody wants him to sing. Of course we want you to sing, but I want to hear, because you're smart and you got a lot to say about the case.
I think, I think people are tired of, the songs had their place, but I think people are tired. I mean, they're just, part of the songs, the writing of some of them were to carry people through the low points. Some of them just sort of channeled through me or came out. And, but I don't think, I can tell how many people listen to songs online. There's not too many. And it's like, it's okay. It's just it was a part, and
right.
And they'll be a part of the story. It's kind of weird to have written me into the song, because I remember the one day that
I love
Kathleen
that dead
Zellner
man
started tweeting
stance.
them.
I
And
love that
that
part.
is, you know, that's so it's a funny thing, you know. So I don't think, you know, I think people might like the songs in the time, but I don't think people want to listen to me, to be honest.
Oh, you are
Especially
crazy.
in this forum,
You are
it's like, I don't
so
know how it comes
crazy,
across,
Stacy. I mean, you are.
Been
You're
loving
in
the music.
so many
maybe it's
conversations. Stacy comes up.
Apologies for murdering Truth Train, though.
Yep. Truth Train, we're all on it. We're just waiting for Zellner to start it up.
No, I mean the rendition of it. Yes. We had about I had about blooming
I'm telling you,
50 attempts.
Oh,
yeah. What was that, Pete?
I had the I think I said it because on Jerome's thing, but I had a choral arranger do a version of Truth Train, and so it sounds like a choir behind
cool.
it.
Oh, that'd be
awesome.
lovely.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
it
what
is
you
awesome,
wanted,
man.
wasn't
So,
it? Something that's what you envisioned?
Yeah, I've been trying. It's still not what it is. It's just a little taste of what I think it could be, because I really thought if we were going to do a rally this year, I would have loved for all of us to sing it on the stairs.
Oh yeah,
that would be cool.
It'd be so cool. Yeah.
Well, we had you blaring last year. Me and my little
that was-
speaker. I put you up there and just wail it.
Yeah. But you know,
You can have me on the phone. I'll be like, ha.
Oh, well, next year,
That would actually be kind of cool.
yeah.
It was cool.
Or some of the, you know, I've seen on during the shutdown with the COVID thing, people, I don't know how they get the quality, but they link these musicians start playing together, and it sounds wonderful. So they must have some special program. But but so that's some of the stuff that some of the songs are still growing like that. They're not done, because I would really love to get that recorded, a choir doing Truth Train. And it's a gospel sound, you know, it's like it's really strong. So, but you know, we'll see what happens. I love the fact that the songs got me into the community a bit, probably more than I thought I would probably be. You know, I used to lurk in the Reddit. I'd put comments out, but when I started doing the songs, I really not only was welcomed, but I also became more active. You know, so it's kind of like a
that's when it came out.
Relationship.
Yep, it came out. Yeah. We all kind of came out at the same time.
Yeah.
I was lurker too for a long time until I said hi to Erekose, and that was the end of that one. I was okay. He's talking to me, so I'm in.
Well, you know, back in the day, Making a Murderer Reddit, the original one, that was a hotbed of activity. I mean, at one point there were 65,000 members in that one.
Wow.
And that grew over a month and a half, from 0 to 65,000. And then it's there, you know, as the time goes on, people just drop out and stuff. But that's when I started really doing my work, you know, back in those days. Yeah.
How many songs have you wrote about it? Do you know the number of songs? I don't know the number. I just know they're on my playlist.
Well,
and
they're not all up, to be honest. There's a song. There's about 25 of them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And yeah,
that is a lot.
There's one that's still.
Oh, J-Jack said 75,000 in your group you were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's one about Brendan I haven't ever released, and there's another one about Teresa, and which I probably won't. But and there's a couple others that I still work on. You know, I did a little one about Laura and Moira.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and so but they're all just works. You know, they might get a lot of them get thrown to the trash can, but the ones that really came out, like Illusion of Justice and Avery Road and those things, they just sort of came out, you know, and so I don't even touch them hardly. I polish them because I play them more, but I don't touch them lyrically, or if they come out that quick, I just sort of honor.
Well, it takes a brilliant mind to do that, because I couldn't do it. I'll tell you that. I haven't met anybody here that's been able to come up with the songs that you did. So you know, fun. Paulaz, bravo. We absolutely love them. I know I'm speaking for everybody, and without any problem saying that we absolutely love them and appreciate them being a part of this community. So
I do too.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate people listening. And but it's cool to have a, like a soundtrack to help us through those times, or they also make you remember a bit. Like when I listen to, say, sometimes I forget about Let's Brain Fingerprint Them All or something, and it brings me back to the first year and a half where I'm like, what is this brain? I mean, that was when Kathleen just got on, and all these, they all have a point in history for me, to be honest. So, hey, I appreciate everyone listening.
Yeah, I'd like to see brain fingerprinting for all them people that are supposed to be
Sammy did a big thing on brain fingerprinting. Yes, she dug deep in that.
I'd like to see that replace the depositions.
Yeah, well, can't lie. I was talking, that Dr. Larry, I forget his last name now, the guy that Farwell, I was actually talking with him on Messenger a bit over the last, couple of years, because I sent him the link when I wrote the song, and he sent me one back saying, hey, that's cool, because this technique he developed ended up in a song and on MAM, and he was talking to me. He was in the Middle East, and he's working for, I think, I'm not sure, some U.S. government organization, and doing it over there. The problem with that, I find, with the brain fingerprinting is the question you have to come up with. You have to come up with a question only they would know. And so I try and think of what question. Something they didn't put in the documentary?
Yeah.
Right. That or that you would know. If you're not part of the crime, how would you know? So it's but I think I would love to, you just know that Kratz, Gahn, Fallon, Fassbender, Colburn, Lank, all of them would deny any test, polygraph, brain fingerprinting, anything else. Yeah. They will not come forth with any information because they're lying. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. I thought whenever I saw the brain fingerprinting, I was like, wow, because that could be so useful for so many different ways. So we were joking around after I did a little podcast on it about it replacing all the depositions and everything.
I would love to. I think they could crowdsource. You'd have such a huge, you'd have people paying to see Ken Kratz.
Yeah, you would.
For sure.
Look at how much play he got with Andy. When he, or AC, when he was that, kicked the body. I mean, come on, let's let him make an ass of himself. He does it all the time. Keep talking, buddy. You're doing good.
Yeah.
I sent it out to you, Marilyn. It should be out there. You should be able to get it.
I'm gonna head off though, you guys. It's so nice seeing you. And,
it was
nice to see you too.
Here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on my channel finally.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it again sometime.
Yes, please do come back.
It was nice to see you,
Stacey. You don't have to bring your guitar because I like the mind.
I don't mind. Yeah.
Love you.
And okay, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Marilyn, I sent you it should be right there for you to get, honey, because I know she was trying to come back on. She had some issues going on, and maybe she'll come on. And I don't know who else is coming on. I ain't seen anybody popping their heads in. And I don't even know how long am I on, Jane? How much more?
It's at 1:43.
Yeah.
Thing.
And you're on 2.
So you've got another 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do?
I can stay on for a wee bit longer if you want. I don't have to jump away. Well, let me mute it for a minute or two because William wants to make a coffee, and he's. Let me mute it so William can get his coffee.
Okay, William. Come on, William.
Oh, I'm having mine.
Hi, honey. Did you figure it out? I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
I could not turn that YouTube off. But I'm glad y'all are doing okay. I wanted to come in and say hi. And
I'm so glad you did.
I know.
It wouldn't feel like the rally to me if I didn't
wouldn't.
get to see your face.
I was like, I submitted a little video thing for them, but I'm like, this is not the same. I need to give y'all hugs.
Yeah. Well, I'm hugging you. She gives the best hugs, guys. I gotta tell you.
I need to touch everybody.
She gives the best hugs. I mean, I was looking forward to that, and then when I seen it, I go, "Oh, this is such a good hug."
Oh,
You're so
they were
loving.
all very good hugs, and all for very good reason, fighting for Stephen and Brendan. So I've been listening to everybody, and it's been really good. I tried to get back on here before Stacy got off. I wanted to say, "Hey, Stacy," and
I'm sorry. He's probably seeing you. I didn't see it in chat until a little bit late because I'm trying to pay attention here. I'm really not paying attention to the chat, which I should be. But,
right. Well, you can't pay attention to all of it. How
No,
are the
it's
rest
a
of
little
you girls doing? Good, Jane?
Thank you very much for your voice clip, Marilyn. It was lovely.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I didn't know if I'd get to, come on one or anything. So I usually send one for the birthday stuff or even for those things Brendan eats. And I figured they could go in a folder for him. And when he gets out, he has time to see all that later, right?
It was
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
It was
I mean,
lovely.
at least he can put the voice with the person and see it later.
Right. Do you get calls from Brendan again yet, or no?
I don't yet since he's moved to Oshkosh. But you know what? I did get a letter the other day, last week, from him, and it just made my day because I looked at him like, oh, there it is again. And I swear I wasn't going to cry. You know how I am. I'm so emotional about Brendan.
Me too.
Okay. Because I thought it was so cute. And when I opened it up, damn, if I didn't cry, I started reading it. And it wasn't bad, but it just, I can't help it.
I can't either.
My heart just breaks for him so bad because, and a lot of people may not even know. I know everybody was telling how they get started, but I think the reason for me that I'm so terrible about it is that I relate so much. And this is in no way trying to diagnose Brendan or anything like that. But when I watched it, he's just like my son. My son is on the autism spectrum and he's high functioning autism, but he has the same just ways about him. And people that start to say stuff about Brendan, like, or he'll say to his mom, I'm just dumb. I'm like, it's not dumb. People don't understand that their brain is wired different. This is what my son does. He's not dumb, but he's wired different. The way he thinks, the way he receives his language.
My daughter is the same thing.
The way he gives language. It's different. He can name every hurricane that's happened. I mean, they know stuff, but the way they relate and socially, they try, but they just can't. And when I heard Brendan talk, it was just like my son. And I thought, what if that could be my son?
Yep.
And, Brendan kind of became my little son, feeling like, I was just like, I just need to protect that guy. He's so innocent. And it was obvious that when I first watched it too, everybody has different views. I know Erekose always said he didn't believe it at first, but I never, I wasn't taken in by the docuseries. I just never thought that either one of them were guilty just by the evidence I'm saying. Brendan was totally innocent. Stephen was, well, it didn't make any sense. You had to show me something different. So that's when we all start going back and looking at the documents and Reddit and all of that stuff. And I mean, it's been a long 4.5 years.
Yeah,
it really has.
And,
I think I've forgotten a lot of stuff.
And there's not enough out there by Brendan for Brendan. That's why I do my Positively Brendan Fridays with Becca, because we need to talk about Brendan more. I mean, Stephen has a big following and people doing so much, and Brendan kind of gets pushed to the side, and I can't do that. So my little show about Brendan might not be much, but it's something where people can find out about him, what he likes, because he participates in it through Becca, which I think is fantastic. I've also had the honor of Barb being in my chats, which I totally support. I mean, we all know that I love the whole family, and I would never do anything or say anything against them in any way. And I don't allow people to do that on my channel. No. So that's just how I am. And you can down me for it. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care. That is how I feel. That is where my heart is. And I will never change that.
That's being quite judgmental to do that, because none of us, we think we know what we've looked at, but we don't know.
We don't know.
I mean, KZ knows more. We just need to wait until it comes out. And you can have your opinion, is fine, but you just don't know for sure. So,
and I figure,
you know,
they've suffered enough, don't you think?
oh
They suffer
yeah,
every day. I mean,
they have.
Barb suffers every day. She doesn't see her son or her brother, and so does Ma and Pa and the whole family. So if you want to help, then don't criticize like that because
No,
you just don't know.
you've never been in their shoes, so you
Well,
That's
just
you
right.
know,
can't.
the worst part of it all is that it's not even the fact that he managed to get caught up in this mess. I think he thought he was trying to help.
Yeah.
He was so easily manipulated.
Yep.
And the worst part is he ended up in prison for what's going to be majority of his life. And that right there is that kills me inside. I understand he seems whenever I get a chance to hear from anyone that actually does speak with him or visit with him, I feel like he's doing really well. He's handling this very well, considering.
Yeah.
And but the
He
thing
is
is,
handling
as
it.
a mom, that's so heartbreaking
breaks
to
my
know
heart.
that their reality every day for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I think you must handle it well when you're innocent, though, because I mean, I think I'd be innocent. I'd never do that, but I know that, Linda, I'm like you. I'm sorry. I'd be pissed off. I'd be mad
Yeah.
as hell if you took my life
Yeah.
away. But
Yeah.
Brendan's a very simple person in his
Mhm.
in the way he is, and you know, he just and Stephen's the same way.
Yeah.
I think they don't have time to be mad. You've already taken, look how many years of my life away from me. I need to get going with the rest of what I've got left. I don't
Yeah.
think they really have time to be mad. They just want to go with it. And I get that's the best way to be if you can feel
Yeah.
that way, because you've had enough wasted and now you want to go.
Right.
I would just be mad, but you know, Brendan's just as calm. He's not mad. His little letter is so sweet. I've got to write him back, and he always signs it love, the complete and innocent Brendan, and he draws
Aw.
hearts over there and hugs and love.
Yeah.
And
Aw.
I'd love to get his, get on his phone list again. I don't know. After he went to Oshkosh, I, wasn't on it anymore because I thought you had
Right.
to be on his visiting list, and I'm not on that. So anyway, I don't care as long as he's doing good.
Yep.
That's the
And
main
he's
thing for
COVID
me.
free, so that's
He's
really good.
COVID-free.
That is a
People-
plus.
That was a
Like-
worry
Yeah.
when I heard
Yeah,
about
oh boy,
Stephen,
I'm
and
so
then
nervous.
Well, everybody's getting that.
If
Yeah,
we can just get the governor to, I mean, I know they have a lot of stress and do stuff, but I mean, it's just, well, I'm just going to say it's disgusting. It's just ridiculous that they're still there. And I
Yeah.
know it's political, and I know that they have strings and they're pulling, but there's just so much of it that I don't even see how it can be. How can it get past the judge, some of the things they did? How
Yeah.
can he say there's no relevance in the phone calls? How can he just sit
Yeah.
there and say, well, I don't see the relevance? Why
Yeah.
don't you see the relevance? You're the damn judge. What's
Well,
wrong with
my question to the governor on Twitter, and has been for a week, and keep on adding to it, is if you can use Brendan's interrogation for a what not to do, and you know it's wrong, and it created a false confession, why is that boy still in prison?
That's
Right.
right.
That's what I want to know.
That's
And
right.
that's what I'm asking the governor, and I started it last
Exactly.
week, and I will keep it going until I get an answer, because that is a very important question to be answered. If
And
you
I-
could use that and know.
I keep sending them too, but I think right now we are getting ignored. And like Tracy says, we'll have to change the emails
change
up a
something.
little bit, because I keep getting the responded one back that I can tell that it's just one they send
Yeah, it's
out. to everybody.
repetitive.
They're not paying attention to me anymore.
Yeah,
So-
I keep getting one about COVID, Marilyn. So
I know.
It's just somebody sending it out for us. They're just ignoring. So they got so many, and they know it's just us again.
well, I'm gonna share all these rally videos on Twitter, and I'm gonna tag Governor Evers in them, because normally we would, you'd be at Manitowoc County Courthouse or whatever. So
yeah, that'd be great, Jane.
Just because we couldn't do it in person, that's why we decided to do this, and they're still gonna know.
Yes, they're still going to know that we didn't go away just because
Yeah.
we couldn't be there.
Exactly, and that, exactly.
And if they don't see it, you
Yeah.
know, they won't know if they don't see it. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great thing.
It is.
to do.
How many rallies have you been to before, Marilyn?
I started, let's see, I went to just 18, 19, and this would have been the third one. What happened when I watched it actually the month after it came out. You know, it came out in December 15. I watched it in January 16. Yeah. And it confused me so bad. I mean, I started looking at the gas thing right there by his garage in between the house. And I'm like, how the hell are you going to light a thing out there? That'll blow up the garage. And just everything else about it that was crazy. And I'm like, I'm not trying to take sides. I'm trying to be logical and look at it. I'm trying to look at the evidence. Even though I've made my mind, I can see that to me, if I'm the jury, there's too much doubt. Yeah. They're innocent. But I'm going to look at everything because there might be something that comes out. And, you know, I mean, I sat there and stewed over it for ever how many months. I forgot, like, anyway, it was like October of 17. I just got a wild hair in my eye. I'm like, you know, I can't stand this anymore. I'm getting in my car. I'm driving to Wisconsin. And I called Carla. Carla didn't know me from, well, she knew me. She knew me on the page, but she'd never met me. And I said, Carla, I'm coming to Wisconsin. So I want to meet you. I want to meet your family. I want to check out and look at Stephen's trailer. I want to look at the things so I can see for myself where everything was and how it was going to work out. So I did. I grabbed a friend with me because my husband was working. He couldn't go. So we got in our car. It's a 16-hour drive, and I drove there. And I stayed at the Baymont for a little bit. And then Carla's like, well, you know, because she's working during the week. And then she said, you need to come out and stay with us. And I thought, I mean, that was so generous of her. I mean, to open her home to just a supporter, but you really don't know them. So I said, okay, well, we'll spend the weekend with you. That's when I had Tracy and Angie and Barb and the whole family. That's when I met the whole family. And they came over at Carla's and we had a little party. We just had a really good get together and got close at that time. So I did a lot of looking around though. And I was like, well, this is at worse. Now I know damn well they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They didn't do nothing. Yeah. And so from then on, I just, you know, kept going back. And I went back more than the rally. I mean, I've been back several times.
Yeah.
Maybe every 5
one time
or so.
Whenever I stayed at Carla's.
I
stayed at Carla's the one time I went back, and they're such lovely people. I mean, they're
very welcoming. You know,
oh my God, Stacy cracks me the hell up. I mean, he just keeps me rolling, dude. I mean, they're so great. They're wonderful.
Stacy's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy. It's just a warm feeling and very inviting and comfortable to people that you don't really know real well. Yeah. I mean, you haven't, but then you get to know them really well.
Yeah, right.
Just like everybody here, you know, has gotten to know everybody. I'm so amazed at the wonderful worldwide crowd from all of you guys out of the world. This is not just a United States thing. I feel kind of embarrassed about it because this is not our country. It didn't seem like it's ever been this way, and it's just, I don't know, but it feels really bad right now, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't do those things. All I know to do is just keep my mouth going. You know,
over the years, there's been so much corruption coming to the surface that we're just now realizing just how very bad it is all over.
Sammy, right? Yeah. And I mean, I did not pay attention like everybody else before this. I never knew anything like this. I had one case, and
I had an incident. My son is in his 30s, and I had an incident when he was a teenager with a police officer. He was riding with a friend to school. His car had broke down, so of course they were riding together. And this young man was Latino, and the cop stopped them and was harassing them and giving them a hard time. And I never had that issue. I never had to deal with it or face it. And when I realized what exactly took place, I was so furious. I insisted, and I called every single day until I got an appointment to talk with the chief of police. Because I told that man, when I finally got the chance, I filed reports. This cop literally threatened to knock my son's teeth down his throat And
Oh.
he so much as took the young man that was driving out of his car and brought him to the back of the car so my son couldn't hear or see what was going on.
Right.
But I told the chief of police, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I taught my child to respect authority, but your cop blew that all to crap all in one instant.
Yep. Yep. It only takes one bad cop to make everything sour around you. And there's a lot of great cops I know in Minnesota that are.
I know we have cops here in town that my kids went to school with, and they're really good dudes, and I'm really proud of them. But you don't find out till you get involved in stuff like this just how deep some of this corruption can be.
Right, and our good cops are resigning because of it.
All of them are corrupt. We have some mighty good ones, and believe me, I admire them putting their life on the line for us every day.
Absolutely.
But my problem is, and what I see, how I think it's gotten out of hand is, I think the training's all wrong for them. I think that after a while they've been there, a badge and a gun is some power that you don't know what to do.
And what
I think if the wrong one gets in control, then the whole thing goes bad.
Exactly. And if there's mental health issues and things you're not supposed to be just straightening out, what do you do? Just think you're going to pull the gun out and straighten that out? That's wrong. So
it used to be taught to shoot or harm to disarm. Now it's shoot to kill.
Well,
even when they're running away from you.
You know how to de-escalate the thing and not. I mean, I'm sure there's times you do have to shoot, but that's not like what's happening now.
No. Now it's just straight loop. Feels like war.
You know, if you think about this is where some of the Brendans and Stevens come from, because it starts at such a basic level. Some of the time, the acts that are taken against them, the ways that they are treated because they aren't liked, because they're not in the loop, whatever it might be, you don't always know. But that is one of the places where it all begins.
It does.
With this corruption.
And it's unfortunate, but the way the law is too, it's just got to change. I'm really hoping that all of these protests, and I mean the peaceful ones, I'm not in for the looting and all that. I think you can drag them off to jail and do whatever. But the peaceful ones, I am for, because this is what is making a statement right now. This is the way we're going to change this thing.
Those riots
not just Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter.
Right.
That's right.
And
the justice system too.
The looting comes from paid groups of people that are haters, and they're paid to do this. We proved that in Minnesota when it started. We seen people carry, pallets or trailers full of bricks, and they were throwing them and then picking them up, and there was gas stashed in different places where Molotov cocktails, so they could pick them up. And then you've seen all these cars and trucks and vans, and I mean, if you got a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it, you're not protesting to hurt furniture or buildings. You're hurting people.
For people. Yeah.
So there's something wrong there. And I'm sorry, world, but it started here in Minnesota, and we do not, we are trying to do something about it. And I think we have all of the other states and things that are peacefully protesting.
Yeah.
I go for that. But the other things, they're not from people in your town. They're from people who are coming in from other places to start that havoc. And if you get a heated group, you got a heated group, and one person does something, that other it just escalates, and they know that that's how it works.
I'm really proud to see this generation of young people that are out there peacefully protesting, learning how to do it right and sticking to it, because we are all human beings, and it seems to be something that is lost on everyone anymore these days.
Yep.
We're all human beings, and we should all be treated that way, and we should all be respecting and treating each other that way.
I agree.
And I agree you should put the pressure on, but you just put the pressure on in the right way, not illegally. But if we don't put the pressure on, they're politicians. They're not going to listen to us. They'll never listen to us unless we do stay on top of it. Yeah. And so this is good right now, because I'm all for it. I'm not, like I said, not for the violent part, but I know it's getting mixed up together there.
Right.
But I'm sorry, it's your constitutional right to peacefully protest. So
right on.
And that's how I'm going to what I'm trying to work for is qualified immunity. Until we fix that qualified immunity too, and they're not wanting to do that. And so that's going to keep, until we can do that, the problem is that they can get away with everything, which they always have.
Well, they are getting away with.
We are doing it in Minnesota. We are doing that. So maybe we'll learn and pass it on to other states, because we have always had that where you're going to be prosecuted if you're a cop or not. It doesn't matter. They don't work fast enough. Granted,
not even just the cops, but I'm talking now again like
judges and prosecutors and the whole system.
Same thing happened to Stephen Brennan. You got to stop that mess.
Yes, you do. That is just
if those prosecutors are honest, or the police are honest,
they
don't have anything to hide if they do the right thing. So they don't need it really. Not really. There might be an incident, but basically, if you're honest about it, you're not going to need to hide behind that.
If you're doing your job right, you don't have to be questioned. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I say about it.
Linda, how is your community recovering over the last, few weeks and all of the things that have taken place? Do y'all still have a grocery store you can shop at?
Yeah. They just hit major, like historical buildings and things that'll never be replaced. They went crazy after a while. It was very scary. I was talking to some people in Foul Play when it was going on, and I was hearing things go, loudspeakers and cops and sirens and helicopters above my house. And that was quite scary for me, because, when it got dark, it got scary,
Yeah.
But we're recovering good.
Okay.
And we're also making progress. We've had what do you call them? Senate or Capitol meetings or whatever. They go together, the governor and all that, and they try to make, some new laws. We've already done that. We've done a few. So we're trying to be steadfast going forward, and making something happen. We are a forwarding state. You know what I mean? We try to do things that are not normally done. So
forward thinking.
Thank you. So we are doing that. I just don't think it's fast enough for a lot of people. I think they should have fired him and arrested him, just like they did in Atlanta. Fired him and arrested him. That's what they should do right away. You're not with that. You don't need to have an investigation. You're fired from that department. You need to go to jail. So off your job and into the jail is exactly what they should have did. I'm glad they got them all, and I'm glad they're doing something about it, but they should have did it immediately, because if it was any one of us, we would have went to jail that moment.
Oh, for sure.
So
absolutely.
Right. And then I think it's just fair to treat nobody above the law is our big thing around here. # nobody above the law. So let's see it. Let's not just write it. Let's see it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
So just Tracy, how are you doing there?
I'm doing fine.
You've been on everybody's life. I'm glad.
Yeah, well, I did my own for 2.5 hours, and I was on with Jane and Sharon and Di for 2.5 hours. So, yeah, it's been a fun night. I did sleep for about 2 hours. I took like a 2-hour nap.
I was just going to ask if you'd slept.
Yeah.
Oh, hey Tracy! I didn't even see her because her face isn't on there.
Yeah, she's not on there right now.
I just don't want to get all.
May I say that it is so nice to have you back doing whatever you can do. I've missed you while you were gone, and I think you're brilliant, and we love you.
Thank you. I miss you guys. I said a lot of people. I did keep in contact with some people, and I said that I miss my friends, but I don't miss all the BS.
Yeah,
I don't. I didn't miss all that was going on between different parts of the supporters and everything. And that's still going on, and nothing's changed. They just picked right back up again. But but I really missed a lot of the friends that I've made, and so I'm glad to be back for that.
I miss crying on all your shoulders.
Yeah, and I had to come on. I wanted to come on while Marilyn was on because I said I had to come visit my roommate while she was on.
Yeah, you guys are roommates.
Yeah.
You were my best roommate, that's for sure.
Marilyn and I have slept together so many times.
Oh my gosh, dirty laundry coming out of my no.
Oh, Tracy, you weren't supposed to say that.
I can tell you, she gets great hugs.
No,
And if you're spooning, you didn't feel alone.
Time. And she was so good. She was my wonderful, bless her heart, my taxi driver picking me up at the airport. She can't do that. I've got to find other ways now. But she picked me up and take me to Angie's, and then she stay at Angie's. And we just have fun there for a while. It was great.
Yeah, you guys are all just
Tracy.
a wonderful bunch of people. I was so fortunate to meet all of you. And I will be looking forward to that free rally, the Freedom Rally.
Well, I'm looking for some big celebration. That's what I want.
Yes. Sharon, is that your William on
We
there?
want a celebration.
Is that your William on there
Yeah.
writing that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, he's just doing the rally thing. Yay, free the boys.
Yeah, free the boys.
Okay.
You saying the wee Milo thing?
No.
Free the boys.
Free the boys. Keep going. I just wanted to make sure, you know.
Oh, it was free the boys. Free the boys.
Free the boys. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. Last year before.
He's been doing that all the way through.
I love your little thing there.
I know, this is Milo's. I pinched it.
We need to
tell him.
I'm throwing through his toys now. I'm definitely having that. Rhonda was just saying she needs to pop on for 5 minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Because she's got something.
And what do we got? Is it time for me to get off?
I can pop out. I'll pop out.
You've got 20 minutes left.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll go, Linda. I'll go, Linda. And let you get if you want. Or is Rhonda not ready yet?
I'm not sure she said it was just.
I can come and go. I can come and go through the whole thing. But
we're almost done. So
yeah,
Well,
I just wanted to
saying.
say hello to everybody out there, and I'm so glad you're doing this. And let's just keep this ball rolling. And
thank you,
hopefully-
Sammy. We love you. Powderpuff Girls are great.
And remember, don't count the days, make the days count.
Right
That's
on.
right.
Thank you, Sammy. Love you.
Hi, Sammy.
Bye, Sammy. Bye.
She's a wonderful person.
Nice.
I think it was Maz asking in the chat about when the videos will get shared, and because she said we'll all share them on, and tag them. So
I put mine out about Denise already, so that's out
so
there.
you
can
guys
see it.
didn't share the videos yet. You're just waiting
No,
on those.
oh no, we've shared the all the supporter videos.
Right.
Yeah, they're on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter, in the Facebook groups. I assume she means the ones that I said I'm going to share these live streams to the governor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, also you can all get all of the rally videos are on the Foul Play website. They're all there. So you'll be able to see every one of them. Yep. On their Foul Play website, and I know that they've been putting the link up here, and I'll put it in the description. Oh, I already did. It's in the description. I'm pretty good about that. So
I watched it last night on Mark's a little bit, but it was getting late for me, and I'm like,
I fell out.
I couldn't watch the other ones. I had to go to sleep, so
I'm telling you that Dr. Silkman, Mark, and Tracy together. And, oh my Lord, my mind was like the smarts these people have, and then Sandy on there.
Dr. Silkman, that's wonderful.
I loved it. I loved it. They're so intelligent, and like Mark asked Sandy, does he know the level of intelligent people that are on here? And I don't think he does. But man, I mean, did you see his credentials? I mean, whoa, you know what I mean? And Mark is so intelligent. I mean, we're all intelligent people, but some of us are really into a certain career.
Some of them do that heavy detail research when I'm not. Just let me be the mouthpiece and let me look up everything.
Some of us are good at hiding it.
I'm the haver
We just
around here.
don't flaunt it. That's what it is.
I don't know about DNA and all that, cell phone towers and stuff. I was just like, that's somebody else's gig. I can't get DNA and cell phones.
Yep, there
I
it
can
is.
listen to what they say, but I can't look it up. I don't know about it. So, I did have a question. I don't know what anybody thinks about it. I've heard Mark say something about it before, but last night when he was saying that he had talked to some of the jurors, and about what he said about them, how they came out and said, I mean, we all know one juror, but the others that came out, and of what he said they did in there, I just don't understand it. Are the people now still scared? They won't come out there and just talk to Mark, or they won't mention it at all?
I don't know. He said he didn't want to break
No, he didn't want
confidentiality,
to
but
say their name.
and no, that's the way he is, and I totally respect that. I respect that from anybody because that's what you told him. But I wish they wouldn't be
No,
scared.
yeah, I'm not even talking about him. I'm like, if it was me,
Yeah, the people.
I couldn't keep it quiet after.
Me neither.
I see all this now, and
Yeah.
it's not what everybody thought it was, and I'm like, oh, I can't keep my mouth shut about what went on in there. If they want to shoot me, everybody be looking at them. But I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't just hold that in.
No.
And 2 men are in prison.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Come on, nothing. Hit that link, girl.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't
Right
know.
here it is.
That was a terrible thing to do, and I'd just be like, I wish somebody would have said something. So.
Yeah, I wish they would too, Marilyn. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Because you can't tamper with the jury. And like Tracy said a long time ago, somebody needs to set up a class for people to be able to be a juror. I mean, you got to know what. I couldn't be bullied. I know I could not be bullied. I'd say,
no, I couldn't either.
You ain't gonna do that to me. It ain't happening. Where'd she go? Come on back here. Oh my gosh.
I probably say that just because you're trying to bully me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it at all.
Who do that?
Now I'm going to do the opposite. No, not really. That was.
Zoe was cracking up when I was going. Like that. That's how I feel about him. There she is again. There's my partner.
Crazy Linda.
Yeah, I'm a little nuts, but hey, I got a good heart. We all do. You have to have a good heart.
It's a good nuts.
Okay, now I got nothing but a stump in here, and then nothing but a stump in here. So which one do I want?
The one that doesn't look like a mushroom.
That one. Oh, the one that just left again.
Oh my God.
Oh. Come on, sweetie, you got to get back on here.
Tracy.
Because we're going to be talking about, because we support a lot of wrongful convictions. Me and her are going to be doing a special thing together. So I hope she would come back on. Come on, baby. There she is.
I had a
all right,
fun
now
time
start talking, girl.
Oh my God. I had a fun time watching Jerome's face on you, Tracy, when you Oh my God.
I had no uninvited guests this time on my live stream.
Yeah. I told them all how to stop that. You see, when you're down in here, if you don't see their face, then you don't come on.
Right, that's why I told her, I'll put the link in there. I'll put the link this time in the chat, but you need to at least show me your face backstage.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Backstage, you gotta show your face.
No more butt porn or whatever it was. Porn.
I wish it was butt porn.
Wasn't a butt.
Oh God! Well, that's even worse.
Like that. That's not safe.
This is one time. This is one time, Tracy. I'll say I'm happy I missed your stream.
You would have been laughing so hard. Jerome and I did not stop laughing. And
then I laughed at Tracy because Tracy said, What is that? And I'm like, you don't know. She did know, but it was just a reaction. It
took me a minute to
what is that?
Remember, my processor is slow. So. Yeah, I looked really close. I was like, what is that?
That was what was funny as well. The you did look
you had to get that close to try to figure it out. Oh, that poor person.
I didn't realize till the other day, till Tracy said they tried to come back in as me.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh God.
He wants to show his little thing off that much.
It really wasn't worth it all.
And Rhonda kept laughing too, so I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
It was nothing. Believe me, it was nothing.
Nothing to see. Nothing to see.
Nothing to see there.
How many more minutes do I got? No?
Just a wee little thing.
A wee little thing, yeah.
Okay, 12 minutes.
Okay,
12 minutes.
11. Nothing. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. I think I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Rhonda.
So announce what we're going to be doing.
Okay, well, kind of off topic as far as Brendan and Stephen are concerned, but definitely on topic considering justice.
Yes.
Linda and I have been talking quite a bit, and I've actually been talking with a little bit with Daniel Holtzclaw's sister, and Linda and I are going to start kind of a little program about Daniel Holtzclaw. If you haven't heard about this case or heard it and just weren't sure or whatever, it's astounding.
Yep.
What happened. So
I tried to put it out last year, but nobody was interested in it.
Yeah, Linda knew about it last year, and it really was. And I think especially since we were really enthralled in Stephen and Brendan's cases, we just kind of glossed over it. But the time for glossing over is past. And I think we're going in a really good, strong direction with Brendan and Stephen. And I think it's a safe time for us to continue doing that, but also start focusing on Daniel Holtzclaw. His case is astounding. I'll post some links to the information that I have. And
we're going to start from the beginning.
We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to talk about who Daniel was. That will probably be our first video, and we haven't decided yet when that will start. Linda will announce it later in the week. But I'll try to post at least one link. But lucky for us, most of the research is done. Like there really is no research that we really need to do that hasn't already been done. 100% factual research. This is terrifying for me. I know Linda's been there and Jane and Sharon, everybody's been like terrified to do their YouTube things. And this isn't my YouTube thing or my YouTube channel. Linda invited me, or I invited myself.
Yeah, and, kind of mutual decision.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of start from the beginning with the case, so that if you don't know anything about Daniel Holtzclaw, you can kind of get an idea of who he is or who he was before who he is now.
Right.
And we'll introduce you to Daniel and his sister and his family, and via video, not through like personally or anything. Right. Not yet. I'm also another thing.
Here's his sister.
Here's the sister, like really super kind. We have all this, no, we won't be doing that. Yeah,
it's important to know
door
who
number
he is.
1.
Yeah,
it's important to know who he was before this happened to him.
Yeah.
Right. I knew the name anyway. I knew about him anyway because I watched. Is it Daniel in the Den?
Daniel in the Den. Michelle Mulligan.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And then obviously Erekose has been covering it a lot recently as well. So I've learned more about it from that. So
yeah, he's gonna do way Erekose does. We all know he does his own way, and we're just gonna start from the very beginning. Introduce you, and we'll do it our slowly way. But he'll do his too, and there's never enough people to talk about.
I was just gonna say
it's a different approach.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many
styles, same thing. Yeah.
It's just a different approach, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I think Stacy actually said it a while ago that there are so many, not that there's too much or whatever, but there's so many YouTubes and things like that for Stephen and Brendan. Not that it's too much or that they're, we don't know enough or whatever. I don't mean it that way, but I also want to create that same sort of excitement and awareness for Daniel.
Yeah. And this is a good community, So
it is. This is the best community for bringing awareness and for getting freedom for Daniel.
Yep.
And that's why me and Di on our channel, we cover other cases as well. Just because obviously Stephen and Brendan are our passion.
Right.
But there's so many more out there.
Yeah. I'll never give up on Stephen and Brendan ever.
More than we think.
But there are so many other cases that don't get a documentary, that don't get somebody to say something for them. So we need to stand up for them too. And I am and actually Tracy is really the one that kind of put it out there. Hey, let's start doing this. And she took the brunt of it first about nobody wanting to be interested. But we're all interested in it. It's just good that somebody goes forward and starts doing that, you know?
Any exposure is good exposure.
Right on.
For all of them.
Well, we prefer it to be good exposure and not negative, but
well, and the beautiful thing is, and I'm not sure, I think it was Jane said, maybe it was Jane that had said it, that really our community is really the best community because we're full of positiveness. And there are so many of us that we have such a wide we reach such wide and far away distances that we are really the group to spread the awareness for Daniel.
Yeah.
So Melinda will announce that later this week because we haven't decided exactly on it. We were going to do it Thursday, but we decided we needed to wait and give the rally its proper respect. And so we're
it's
going to
been a hell of a couple weeks for me too.
It has.
So,
It has.
You know.
So
losing my friend.
That's all I really just wanted to say was I just wanted to Linda and I had decided we would bring this up during her live and so today, so that's why I wanted to hurry and jump in.
And encourage other people to get out there and check out other cases.
Yeah,
please. Yes. I
Well,
mean,
you
we
know
all
that-
love Stephen and Brendan, but we all
Yeah.
need to check out something else too, you know, and help where you can help.
Yeah.
Well, and we just have so much knowledge now, or I should say most of you guys have so much knowledge in how to do things and how to get to things that we need or to spread the awareness. There's so much already established knowledge that I think we'll do good. I think this is the right time and the right place.
Yep.
So
definitely the right time. Yep. Well, there's a bit of pressure on.
And you guys know Brendan's my heart. So of course, we're never going to forget about Brendan and Stephen.
No.
But
it's gonna kind of switch a little. I'm still doing my positive Brendan's every Friday, so don't worry about that. Nothing really new on it, but we still got to keep talking about him. He's my heart too.
Yep, that's right. So that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to
and I'm glad you did.
Shout it out, and I figured this would be the best time to do it because there's a lot of people listening. So
I love hearing that though when other people are talking about.
And this again, this is nothing to this is not from Erekose. We're just doing a different approach is all.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And the more people that jump on it, the better. I mean, I encourage Jane to share. Anybody start doing, start doing some tweets, start bringing some awareness to the case because it is a very sad case.
Yes,
and it's where the law turned on the law, and a good cop and a good cop.
That's bad.
Yeah, you can't get enough of him,
and they turned immediately. Like it was immediately that they turned on him. And if you can stomach watching Daniel in the Den, what I mean by stomach is watching Kim Davis's eyes, then you can get through.
Or Rocky or any either or.
Yeah, they're just foul people. I'm just going to say one last thing on that really super quick. Kim Davis and Rocky Gregory, they should have been charged with sexual harassment or sexual abuse the way they talked to Daniel. Yeah. And you listen to that 2-hour interrogation and you'll know what I mean. It was disgusting.
It was. It really was. And like I said, I put it up last year on my channel and nobody viewed it. And I thought, well, maybe this is just not the case. And I was like, just ma'am family doesn't want to look at different things, So, and I could understand it. So I just took it down, but it's always been in the back of my head,
I think they do want to look at different things, but they're just so involved with Stephen and Brendan. And now to see some kind of end come to this because they put so much into it. It's not that any of us aren't concerned with anybody else, but now's a great time to do that because now we feel like they're on the home stretch a little bit,
Yeah, I do. I do feel that Kathleen's going to do something. I know that the state keeps putting the wall in front of her, but she's got a sledgehammer and she'll get it to him.
She doesn't give up. She's not giving up on them.
She ain't going to waste her time and her reputation for anything that is not worth it, And I'm glad
the people do need to get behind all these other cases. I mean, look how long Erekose has been trying to get people to get behind Scott Davis. That's been like for years. I mean, I knew about that
and I've been on that
before
too.
Making a Murderer.
Yeah. As soon as he said something about it, I was on it, and that we don't want to talk about Megan around me.
No,
Another O'Helly in my book, Another O'Helly. Yeah.
The thing is that no one case is any more shocking than the one before it. It's just shocking in different ways.
Right. Exactly. Well said. Well, very well said.
Right.
Very well said. So anyway, I'm going to be saying goodbye to all you guys still in here, right? Like 5 minutes or 2 seconds.
I've put the link for Erekose's.
Yep. Everybody, take all your happy little rally.
Head over
go
to
on
Erekose
over.
now.
And I want to thank every single one of you. I love you all. I am so glad you were here with me today. It was kind of hard because Denise really made the rally for me.
I
So
want to
anyway,
thank y'all and thank
I
you
love
for
you. I
having
love
me
you
on. It was
all.
great.
Yeah, thank
Great
you.
to see you all.
Yes, it
Bye
was.
now.
Everybody, I love you very much. And as I say, be kind. Be kind. Keep others in mind.
Yep. You can. Yep.
Bye-bye. Love you guys.